guys, Justin here at Shiloh Smith Farms. Welcome back to the channel. Last video we showed you that we were kind of not changing plans, but speeding up our plans and dividing up this upper pasture into what will eventually be 3 or 4 sections, but immediately it's going to be 2 sections. And so today is all about higher education. Today we are putting our PhD to good use here on the farm. And when I say PhD, if you haven't already figured it out, I'm talking about post hole diggers. One-man auger and a set of old-fashioned wooden-handled post hole diggers, along with a traditional post hole digger from back in the 1800s, this big Collins axe that's a 16-pound iron bar for crushing through roots and rocks that you may hit. But if you'll look, we have strung a line across the upper pasture. I've already set corners on the other end. I've set 2 corner posts up on this end. I'm about to set the 3rd corner, and then we will set the H braces for our gates. Normally I like to use a 4x6 12-foot tall to hang my drive-through gates, but this is not really going to be a drive-through gate. This is going to be a temporary way to put things in this upper pasture to start eating some of this brush. And so we're just going to use our regular 6-inch wood post, 3 foot in the ground, a little bit of quick reet, a lot of tamping, and do it as an H brace and just hang a 10-foot galvanized gate just so we can walk in and out, be able to open it later and let the animals have full use of both sides, and then also be able to close it if we ever have to move, separate. You never know what's going to happen when you've got animals, when you've got livestock. Sometimes you have one that's having a baby out of season and you need to get her in a place by herself. Sometimes you have a baby born and maybe it needs to be quarantined, or maybe you even bring in some animals from off the farm and you don't want to put them with your herd for a couple of weeks. And so as we do these things, we'll be bringing it to you. Remember, like, share, and comment. If you haven't already, go back and comment the name of the goat that got loose in the video, What Did We Do Wrong? We've already got 1 winner of a shirt, but we still need a 2nd person to comment the name of the goat that escaped from the corral panel. I say it at least twice in the video, so you should be able to find that. You could actually get lucky and go back to the very first video when I introduce all the animals and take a guess. But comment on there and let us know that you're watching. We appreciate the support that you've already given us, and just stay with us today, and I'll talk to you at the end of the video. Okay, right now what I'm doing, you may be wondering, this is what's referred to as a Collins axe. It's a 16-pound piece of iron with a sharp point, and really what I'm doing is 2 things. There was 2 roots on each side of this hole that I don't want to deal with as we try to plumb this post, and so I knocked through those roots. And then also I guess I'll brag on 2 places and kind of make fun of at the same time, and not doing this mean or facetious. That's a Harbor Freight Predator post hole digger that I'm using. It's done a great job. I can't complain. It comes with a 6-inch auger. Well, when I went to the local tractor material place, okay, where they supply things for people with tractors, and bought these wooden posts. I bought, and I forget now how many I bought, about 100, 120 4-inch treated wooden posts. And the guys that bundled these together, when I got home and unloaded them off, I thought they were kind of heavy. 95% of these are 6-inch round treated wooden posts, which would have cost me about $5 to $6 a post more had I bought those. But they gave them to me They're better posts, they're stronger posts, so I'm not going to complain. The only problem is with a 6-inch auger and 6-inch post, I have to widen my hole a little bit to have something to tamp when I set this post. And so that's what I'm doing with this Collins axe. I'm going to go in here, get it widened out, and then I will take my regular post hole diggers, the manual diggers, and clean this hole out and be ready to set this post. If you'll look in here, Cassidy, you'll see the remnants of the roots that I broke through with the Collins axe. And just for any of my family that watches this video, all my brothers will remember these. These post hole diggers belong to my dad. My dad passed away in '94. I used these post hole diggers when I was 11 or 12 years old on a fencing project at my parents' place. So these have got to be 40 years old at least, and I'm still using them for all my life. They had a piece of tape, black electrical tape, at 18 inches, because that was Daddy's standard for planting the rose bushes, for setting the chain link fence around his property. And so these are still going strong, stronger than the man that's using them. And what we're doing here, my fencing helper, since I can't get Gerald Swindle to come help me, or Leanne,
I had to do.
Stacy's going to hold the post plum using this, it's actually a post level that she's got, keeping all the bubbles straight at the same time. I'm going to pour a little quick rate in the bottom of the hole. Breathe a lot of stuff you're not supposed to breathe. But I'm going to worry about any kind of poison I put on my pasture, because that's how we roll in Blount County. Give her a little drink. I know you don't have to. But I want to. Now we're tamping it down. Oops, somebody moving it on me. You get the help you pay for. You might hear the supervisor in the background. That's a little man. He's letting us know he don't care about this fence. He cares about milk, biscuits, loves them some biscuits, and taters, and puffs. Since we're using our PhD today, let me tell you about tamping. You can go to Lowe's, Home Depot, and they'll sell you a tamping stick. I looked at one, I want to say it was $50 or $60 for a tamping stick. This is a piece of furring strip that's about brand new, $1.87. You know what you're doing? You're tamping dirt around a pole. The disconnect is amazing with what we do in this country. You see, he doesn't care where his food comes from. And that's what's wrong in our country right now. People don't realize where their food comes from. They think it comes from a grocery store. In the last 40 years, cattle ranchers alone have decreased by 50% in the United States. That's half, in case you didn't do math and you don't have a PhD. Half of the cattle ranches have went out of business in the last 40 years. And there's more people to feed. We worry about all the wrong things, as you've heard in the background, the construction. The people that wouldn't sell me the next 17 acres, but they would sell it to a developer. They don't care where their food comes from. But the day is coming. With what we have going on in the United States right now, the day is coming. You're going to care where you got your food. Right now, if you're buying meat from China, you're worried where you're going to get your next hamburger from. Because if it's on one of those ships that they want to unload, you're going to get hungry. It's time that we care about the right things and quit focusing on the minor things. This corner's done. And when I say done, I'm talking about the poles that go in the ground. I'll be coming back here this afternoon and putting the H braces that you've already saw me do in a video. I'll be putting the pins through, setting them up about 40 inches high, and then we will ratchet those down with some brace wire, and then we'll be ready. Now the next thing we're going to do is set 2 H braces on the long side here for a walk-through gate. All right, we're going to steal this gate that's not really being used. The only thing I've ever used this gate for is to pin up calves or yearlings when I was loading them to sell. And we won't be doing that out of this barn anymore. So I'm going to try to steal this gate if I can get it to lift up off of these hinges right now. Got it. Thank you, Titan. You did a lot of help, buddy. Yes, you did. You're such a good boy. Now I'll tell you, he's 3 years old. He's a gelding. Before he became a gelding, in case you don't know what that means he's been neutered. Yeah, painful, I know, guys. But before he became a gelding, there's no way I would have stood here, because he would have already bit a chunk out of me. And now he's like a great big puppy dog. I'm still afraid to throw my legs over him and ride, just because I don't want to be busted in a bunch of pieces, but that day's coming. Won't be much longer, will it, buddy? Take some leather? No, you like skin, don't you? You a skin man, ain't you? Yeah. Family affair. We got Lily, my granddaughter, out here digging post holes. She's got a PhD. Yeah! Guys, so today we managed to get all of our corners set and our gate post set, the H brace for the gates set. Got a nice straight fence line. I'm really happy with it. Looks good, looks plumb. Everything come out good. You always feel good at the end of the day when the job comes out the way that you wanted it to. And I just want to close with kind of two little stories. The first one, I heard a wrangler from Wyoming tell this story a couple of weeks ago, and I want to share it. Uh, I don't know the guy's name, so I can't give him credit, but his son was working with him on a ranch in Wyoming, and they were taking some uh, guests, is what they call them. I have a feeling this was like a dude ranch type thing, and they had carried some folks up on a mountain there in Wyoming horseback riding. Well, his son was on a young horse, kind of like the one that you'll see in the video that I've got, this 3-year-old. And some days the horse acted just like he's supposed to, and some days he acted like a fool, kind of like most of us humans. And on this particular morning, the horse throwed his son. He not only throwed him, but he throwed him and ran back toward camp, which was 2 miles away. Not only 2 miles away, but he had to cross a highway to get back to camp. And so the dad sees all this happen. He's got to take care of these guests, so the son's just got to walk back to the ranch. And as the son's going, he meets somebody coming, and the dad overhears this, and the son asks, "Did my horse make it back across the highway?" And he said, "Yeah, he's back. He was at the stall." And the son was awful happy that that had happened, and it really surprised the dad, because you're walking 2 miles, you're going to be pretty upset with that horse. And so the dad was impressed that the son seemed to care so much about the horse that had just throwed him. And as the son turned to continue his journey, he heard him mumble under his breath, "He was wearing my good saddle." You see, the son was suffering from the same problem that most of us do. We only care if something's wearing our good saddle. If you're a Baptist, you care about Baptist. If you're Seventh-day Adventist, you seem to care about Seventh-day Adventist. In our nation right now, whites seem to care about white, and black seems to care about black. And nobody cares about anything unless they're wearing our good saddle. And so that brings me to a story. I want to talk about a man that I met several years ago. A man that when I first met him, I didn't want to have anything to do with. He was a professional bass fisherman. He was actually already the Bassmaster Angler of the Year. His name's Gerald Swindle. And if any of you know Gerald, he goes by G-Man. You can find him on all social media, and he's a character. But when I first met him, he had these different colored tips in his hair, and he wore jackets that would make Porter Wagoner look like he shopped at Walmart. And I just thought, this guy is about the most obnoxious, the most conceited person. And I didn't really want to have anything to do with him, but God kept putting us in situations and circumstances where we were together. Long story short, Gerald became one of my best friends. And more than that, I found out he's one of the best, most decent, compassionate human beings in the world. And I would have missed that because I only looked for people that wore my good saddle. If you were my age, of my income, my social standing, then I would probably be your friend. But if you were above or below, then I probably didn't care that much about you. And so God had to show me to quit judging the book by the cover, but to actually open the book and read and see what's the content. And I think if we would do that, if we would quit worrying so much about our good saddle and start worrying a little more about the ones that's not wearing our saddle, this world might be a better place. Thank you for joining us today. Remember, hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on the next video. God bless.